Hey, CK here, and I'm back with another Automation Monday. And per the requests that I've gotten to start with a lot more simple macros, that's what I'm going to do today. I use DropBox audio a lot for a variety of reasons. And one thing that annoyed me was that they have these little skip forward and skip backward buttons that you can click. There's no way here really to assign keyboard shortcuts to that I'm aware of. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I figured I'll just make them in Keyboard Maestro. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. First, I'll show you what my current solution in Keyboard Maestro looks like, and you'll need to watch really closely just to see it happen. So the mouse is actually moving over to the left and hitting the forward 10 button, but it's doing it really quickly, and then it's moving back to its prior position like so. And I have one for back as well. So let's take a look at how I made that. Now, the first thing I want to point out is that I've got them in a macro group called DropBox Audio Shortcuts. And there's a specific reason for that. In Keyboard Maestro, a macro group is more than just a folder. It's great for organizing your macros, but it also can be used to restrict where the shortcuts that are stored in it are available to you. And because I'm using a pretty, widely used keyboard shortcut here with Command left bracket, right bracket, I wanted to make sure that I restricted these to only when I was going to need them. So by putting them in their own macro group, I'm able to say they're available only in Safari and Google Chrome, and when the window title, the focused window title, contains -- Dropbox, which, as you see in this case, it does, right? So that's when it's going to be available. Just that alone is really powerful. So let's move on to the fun part here. In Keyboard Maestro, you can look for images on the screen. And so I thought, well, I could look for this image and I could look for that image. But here's the thing. When you're using the ability to look for a picture on the screen, you want to make it as easy for Keyboard Maestro as possible, and that involves making it unique. Well, these two are pretty similar. So then it occurred to me, I'll just take a picture of both of them. So if Keyboard Maestro can find both of them, I've kind of really increased the chances of success of Keyboard Maestro being able to find the image I'm looking for. In the finished macro, the whole thing is an if statement to just kind of it's like another layer of protection against this command being used the wrong way in the wrong context. So first off, we look to make absolutely sure that the screen contains this image. Then and only then is it going to do move the mouse and click it at a position relative to the image. Okay? So I will build exactly this over again so that you can see what that looks like. So I'm going to disable this whole thing, which will disable everything inside it. So I'm going to use a command that looks for the action I want to add by name. An action is exactly that. It's an action that you want Keyboard Maestro to take. So I want it to check if there's a particular image on the screen, if that image is on the screen. So I'm going to search on the word if, and there it is, if then else. There is my if then else. So now's my opportunity to say what has to be true before we do the stuff down here, okay? So if all of the following are true, I really just need the screen to contain a particular image. So I choose that. So now it says if all of the following are true. So if the screen contains such and such image. This is blank. All I have to do is paste, or I can drag an image to it. I'm going to do Command Control Shift 4, which gives me this little marquee. And I'm going to drag over that to take a picture of it that gets dropped on the clipboard. I'm going to click there and paste. And now I've got that image in this little well. If the screen contains this image, currently it says in all screens, but we can make it a little more specific than that. So I'm going to say front window. And so that way it's only going to be available when the Safari window is in front. If that's true, it's going to do these things, whatever's in here. And if it's false, it's going to do whatever is in here. You'll notice right here, there's this little currently false. If I bring Safari to the front, look at that. It changes. So it says currently true. So now the screen contains this image in the front window. We can even turn on this little display, in which case it will light up where it finds the image. And so you see now there's this green pulsing where it found the image. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. All right, so now we've got Keyboard Maestro finding an image on the screen. It was just not that hard, okay? If it finds the image on the screen, we want it to click. So what I'm going to do is search for an action based on its name. I'm going to say click at found image. All right, cool. I've got my actual action that says move and click the mouse, and I'm just going to paste that same image right in there. All right. When I press the space bar, this is just like the Mac quick view that you have in the Finder to like preview an image or a file. It gives you this nice red crosshair to show you where the click coordinates would currently click. And you can tweak those and adjust them until they're where you want to be. Well, it's perfect vertically, right? But it needs to be a little more to the right to click on this button. And you see that this says at and points to the right, and this points down. So this is how far to the right and how far down relative to the found image's center. So I could change that. It could be the found image's top right corner, and you see that the red marquee moves up there. Either way, I'm going to stick with the center. So found images center. And so now all I have to do is move this to the right a little bit. So I'm going to say like 20, and I can click this again. That's going to do it. That's going to be perfect. And let's see what else. In all screens, or maybe we want, again, just the front window. So we'll choose that, and we don't need it to drag at all. Here's a little gotcha that can happen. So say I click here, and then I leave the mouse there. The image is no longer recognizable, is it? We need to move the mouse out of the way so that we've got our pristine image available still, okay, for Keyboard Maestro to recognize. What we can do is duplicate this move and click action, but we're going to just move. And we're not going to move relative to the found image. We're going to move relative to the current mouse location. And we're just going to move over like 50 to the right just to get it out of the way. Now, what we're seeing is it is recognizing that the window contains that image. And because it does recognize this, these two actions are going to happen when I do my keyboard shortcut. It's going to move 20 pixels to the right and then stay right at the center of the found image. 20 pixels to the right of the center of the found image, and it's going to click there. And then it's going to move the mouse over to the side. I'm going to hit my command right bracket, and there it went. That's it. That's all I wanted to show you. So you see how easy it was to put this together. It was 3 whole actions. Yeah, there's some logic to it. But again, one of my very favorite things about Keyboard Maestro is that it's got this find action by name. It's Control Command A. And anything that you type in, it just brings up all the possibilities related to that word. Okay? So it's It's easy to use. It's easy to learn. It's really great. Okay, so that's it. Cheers. I hope that's been helpful to you and maybe inspiring. If you would like to learn more, the first thing you should do is just download the free trial of Keyboard Maestro. If you want further instruction, yes, I have classes on Skillshare, and I'd love to see you in those classes. What makes Skillshare cool compared to, say, watching a YouTube video is that you have access to me as an instructor. Every class actually has a project that you turn in and that I'll comment on. And you can ask me questions and I will get back to you personally and directly. So that's really where you find the value by taking a class on Skillshare rather than just watching YouTube videos. So I hope you'll give it a shot. I'm always happy to help.